Hey, what's up guys, Mike here for a new video. So today I'm going to show you my new plugin called Breaking Elements. Breaking, it doesn't mean they are broken. It actually comes from that good old breakdance movie. I kind of like the name, so I just decided to use it. So anyway, let's go back here. I'm going to show you each element, how they work and what they do. Okay, let's start with the first one. Section parallax, which is a very basic parallax effect on a section element. So the section works like the other section. It's exactly the same element. I have just added a couple of options here. So how it works, we just need to pick up a background image. Let's choose that one here and go to the option, then activate the slider, and it's already working. You can inverse the effect here. You can add a scrub effect, so it gives a little delay and a smooth effect. It works a bit better that way. Not sure it's very obvious here. Maybe I will put two. Right, and you can also do a horizontal parallax. So for that, you need to go back to the image setting here and change the size to make it wider. So let's say 150%. Let's go back here, remove that one, and activate that one. So now we have a nice horizontal parallax, and we can combine both of them if we want. And like I said, it's a section, so if you want to add some stuff inside, it works like a regular section. Okay, so let's move on. We have the dynamic text element. I think that one is probably the most useful. I already talked about that in Facebook, and it's a easy way to add a dynamic text in a very long sentence. So here, for example, we have our text. I just added the year. I can continue and write, website by, and I want to add the author name. I can choose here. Super Mike, and I can also add a link here if I want a link to the site URL, and we can select each of them and write in a span element. The reason is, for example, if I want to style, we can style the full text here, so you can change obviously the color and everything. But if I want to style only some elements, so that one here, I can style to make it, for example, like that. We can also style the link, change the color or whatever. Anyway, it's a much faster way than to do it with div and text, because usually to do something similar, what we need to do is to add a div, to have a text element, another text element. I want to write copy white. Jesus, I even don't know what to write. I want to put the year here. I need to select the year here. Okay, stem Y. Now I need to change the layout to make it like this, add a little gap between both, and 5. And now copyright 2024 with 2024 as a dynamic date. I need one div, two text element, a lot of things. Now with that element, we can do everything right here, and it's much faster. It's not perfect, but I think it's pretty good already. So for footers or some other text, I think it works. It works well. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. SVG Icon. So SVG Icon, it's exactly like the icon element, except that instead of using the icon library, which means that we have to open the icon library, create a new set, upload the SVG file, we can pass the file right there. For example, I have a nice SVG here. I just passed the color right here, and I have all the same options: link, rotate, and size, change the color, and everything you want. And it was just for myself. I decided to share it if I think if people find it useful, so they can use it. It's because sometimes when I work with SVG, usually I put my SVG in a code block. So you put your SVG there, and then you want to change the size, so you to the wiper, okay. You want to change the color, you can't change directly the color, so you have to go there and change, add some custom CSS. You want to modify some data there because you are playing with it. Let's say, change something here. It won't look good, but it doesn't matter. You always have to wait that it reload from the server. And anyway, it's not very convenient. So it works, but it's not convenient. Here, we can do everything much faster. If I change something here, it won't reload from the server. And like I said, we can change the color directly on everything. Right, so let's go to the next one, circle text. It was something I saw in Facebook too. I wanted to try if I could see it, if I could build it with Element Studio. So it's a SVG text element, and okay, we have some option to change the size of the text on everything. We can animate it. Pretty basic, but we didn't have that element in the Breakdance, so I just built it. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so now we are going to check the fancy element. All of these are a bit more special, I will say, a ton of options. So we have this parallax tilt effect, and how it works. So we have a ton of options here, and by default, I think it's the default. Yeah, it works already pretty well. So let's change that. It's a container. You add whatever you want inside. So I have an image. Let's pick up a real image here. I have that cool image with the incredible t-shirt. So the generated image. That t-shirt doesn't exist, and she doesn't exist too. What a pity. Right, so we can do some tilt effect here. And for the parallax, I have added some note here. It uses data attribute. So by default, it already have this setting. So you go to the image here, and you can see data attribute here with some value, -5. If I put 50, it's way too much, of course, but you can see how it works. And for the text, it's the same. Let's say I want to add another text, so I click here. Because the text is in absolute position to be in front of the image. If you go there, you can see absolute. So now they are on top of each other. Let's move it, that one to 100, for example. -100, not 100 here, the top. All right. Okay, so we have the tilt effect here. If I want to change, let's go back there to the data attribute. I want to make it, so you can see, give a kind of a 3D parallax effect. And okay, it's pretty nice. Okay, and we have some option for the shadow behind. You can change the color and the scale. The highlight, so it's not very obvious here, but it's a highlight on the image. If I make it one like this, I'll change a little bit radius. Okay, it's a bit more obvious, doesn't look very good, but anyway, by default, usually is enough. Okay, so that one is a parallax tilt element. Let's go to the next one, the gzap stuff. The gzap loop element. Let's do two sections here. Okay, so it's a container, and let's say I will add an image here. Okay, that one is cool. Change the size. Maybe 400. Okay. And change the section so it's centered. So it's a loop element, which means it will animate in a loop like this. The child elements. So if we put two elements inside, only the first one will be animated. So actually the purpose of it is to add only one element, not several one. And then you can, for example, here it will move in the X and Y direction. If you want to make a kind of seamless movement, you just need to change the speed of the Y. And you can do many things, like for example, let's say I want to make that one horizontal. I can, we have a bounce effect. We have a strong effect. Like better when it's like this. It was better with text, the strong effect. And we have, for example, let's say bounce here. Let's change that. You can make it 0.4 bouncing. You can scale it. Scale it from and here 0.2 maybe. Okay, we can also change the rotation a little bit. Change the speed of the rotation, so 1.2. We can change the same here, elastic effect to the rotation or whatever. So you have a lot of options to create a loop animation. And I don't know, maybe it can be nice for a product or something. It's a bit more, it's a bit too fast, I think, but anyway. And you have some option to disable on mobile. Okay, so when disable on mobile, it's from phone landscape and phone portrait. If I disable it, here maybe it won't work, but it will work in the front end. It can happen. Let's see it actually. So if there's something wrong, I will see it. Okay, and right, it doesn't work. And if I continue, and now it works. No, it doesn't. Good. Okay, and it's made with GZAP, which means that the animation will only start when the element come into view. So when it's there, it's not animating, now it's animating, and now it's not animating. So don't worry about performance. Of course, don't put 2000 elements like this, but a couple of elements like that won't slow down your website. Okay, so let's move to the next one. Parallax mouse. Okay, so let's save that one and let's go. I will change the image. Always to try to put some default settings so it works already pretty well. Let's save that and let's play here. Okay. So you can see it's parallax mouse element or whatever, and it moves according to the mouse position. And when you leave the container, it comes back with a pretty cool elastic effect. I never saw actually that effect like this, the elastic effect, and I think it's pretty cool. That element is the only one that doesn't work very well in backhand. I mean, we can set the setting, but you need to check in the front end. I couldn't make it work in the backhand. And then you have, like the other elements, you have ton of options. So for each element, we need a wrapper. So you click there. Let's say I want to add another one here. Okay, and I want to add maybe a text. Change the color. Right, and I can change the position here. Okay, let's put the text here. For the image, the same. I will change. I will put the image right there. change a little bit the position here. And for the parallax, so if you don't set any parallax effect, the element won't move. Let's say I want to, so you can change between -100 to 100, and maybe put something a bit random. Right. So it was like that. And let's go back to here. Okay, so you have we have the overflow effect. It's more convenient when you want to do a background, moving background. Reset on exit is by default. It's what we saw just now, which means that now I disable it. So now when we move the mouth, it's moving. When we leave the area, it doesn't come back. It stays where is it. And we have a full screen option. And with an exit, let's enable both of them. So the same here. Now it's full screen, which means it will work from everywhere. And if we leave the page, like here, it come back. If I don't want, I just disable that one. And there's a touch support for mobile. So it can also work with on mobile when we press and move. Okay, we can also change, of course, the effect here. We have back out and elastic is honestly the best one, and the duration of the animation. Okay, let's go to the next one. GZAP reveal. Okay, it was pretty cool with some text. Okay, so it's a simple reveal effect when you can you have a lot of options here. You can change the direction. You can change the start is and end is effect. That one is like a bounce effect. And we can change the content. So it will only change the content of the first child. For example, let me show you. Let's say I want maybe that, and have the same effect here. Okay. And it will play differently like that. Let's copy both of them, change that one. Slide right, slide left. Cool. Let's add a little gap here. We can also change the color here. Okay, let's say I want from purple to, I don't know, kind of yellow, and go finish by red. And we can also add whatever we want. So actually it works well with, let's say, an image. Pick up another cool image here. That one. And yes, maybe I need to change size here. Okay, change the image. What a cool hoodie. Made by AI, obviously. And let's add another one here. That one I don't want to change using. So default one is better. And for the effect, I want zoom out. And like that. Check this out. That's pretty cool. And then you have some option here. So you can play, by default, you always play, which means when you come into view, it will play. You can only play one time. So for the image now, you only play one time, no more. And you have also an option to restart and scroll back, which means it will play when we scroll down, we pass it, and when we scroll up, it will play too. And we can also disable on mobile. Okay, so let's move everything here and add the next one, which is a split text element. That one is probably the longest element I've made. it took me a while. Anyway, so it's just a pretty basic Flash effect, I will say, because it was pretty popular in Flash to have that kind of effect. And here, so you have you can change. You have ton of options, so you can change by letter or by word. Overflow, it means, as you can see, you can hide the element out of the container like that. Okay, amount made by SuperMy. Let's make it a bit faster here, 0.02. Okay. And then you have ton of options here. So we have all the easing we want. We have bounce out. You can change, make it from the center. You can make it from a random position. You have a slide up, slide right, hidden like this. Let's go back to the start. And by word, let's go from a slide up for each word. Anyway, you have a ton of options. And you have something pretty cool too. Let's add a new one. For the animation, you have all these effects, and you have the custom effect. Let's click it. And the custom effect has ton of options. You can change many things. Let's cancel it. Let's say you want to only change from the X position. 400. With backward, if I want, I don't know, let's say I want a bounce out. Scale, so from 0 to 1 or 2 if I want to have this kind of effect. And we can change also the change the rotation in a Y here, add some perspective. Let's change that here so we can and we can have some random values. So let's say, okay, let's cancel everything here. And now I want the letter come from -500 to 100 randomly. So they will come in both positions randomly, plus the same here. So now they will come from everywhere randomly. The same with the scale effect. Let's put a bit. And we can do the same with the rotation on everything. It becomes a bit crazy, but actually you have a full power here. You can do whatever you want. And let's change it to power 2. And instead of start, random. And it will be animated on view, like usual. And we have the same action here. The three options to play and disable on mobile. And forward to. All right, so now let's go to the next one. Split text. Okay, the stagger effect. It's very similar to the other effect because it uses the same option. And here it's to animate a group of elements. So instead of animated one by one a group of elements, if you have a div or a container, you can use this container, this stagger, and you can animate automatically all of them with a delay, which is the stagger. Is a delay between each of them like this. Let's say I want to add another one. Right, I need to. Okay. So now they will be animated like this, and you have exactly the same option. So it can be any element. If I want to add an icon here or whatever, an image, or It's just that if I add an image, it won't work. I always have to click here and update something here. So this kind of little annoyance, but it's still fine, I think. And you also have the full custom things here, so you can really do whatever you want in terms of effect. And I have added something special. Let's remove some here and gallery. Let's add some real image here. Okay, so let's say I want to, so let's go back here, effect, scroll down, scroll up, or whatever. So it will move each element like that, so it works as expected. But for the gallery, I wanted to add an option. So I have this advanced section here and gallery mode. Gallery mode, it will animate each image of a gallery. Instead of the full element, it will be each image of the gallery. So I can use only for a gallery. Actually, so remove both of them. Maybe I need to add the, okay. And let's go back here and let's say I want to add some custom effect, scale 0. I want it randomly, maybe add some random rotation here. Right. So it works like that. And it works pretty well with gallery too. So it's not for, it won't be animated for each image when they appear. It will be animated for the full container. It starts for the full container. Okay, so this is a stagger element. So like I said, you just add whatever you want. If I want to add a heading here, and I can change the layout too. Right, and the last one, I think, the slice image. Okay, so that one is a bit weird. I always wanted to do that. I don't know why. And finally, I was able to do it. So let's click it here. Okay, so that one, take one image and slice it into a set of different div. And it doesn't duplicate the image, it's the same image. And you can, let's add a little gap here so you can see the difference. And you can slice it and animate it with exactly the same option. I know the custom things and everything. And it's for one image. Let's do a cool effect with that. Let me think. Maybe one for that. Okay, that one, let's put 10. Okay, no, I don't want one of them. I want to start. Here I will put 180. Add some perspective. And yeah, maybe change effect here. This is a bit too fast, so let's go with 2 or actually I will put the bounce back out effect. It's a bit better. And also change maybe okay, so I will say minus 400 minus. Okay, it's a bit weird, but anyway. Okay, let's go. Let's do random here. No, random doesn't look very good. Maybe, yeah, actually it's not so bad. Right, so anyway, it's one element. And let's go to the front end here. And if you can see it here, let me show you. Okay, so as you can see, we have all the slides here. They are all divs and the image network. If I reload it, and let's go back to the image. It's only one image. It's just the same image, like I said. And if we go to the slice, it's all about background position and background size. There's a big formula here. So it will be slice, and it will show the same background image. Anyway, I find that one pretty cool, but probably totally useless too. Okay, so that's it for this pretty long video. Feel free to try, and see you next time. I will add more new element probably, so don't worry about it. Okay, see you.